All right. Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Morris. I founded Career DFW back in 2008 to help the unemployed in the DFW area. In 2012, after a visit to the White House, I decided to start CareerUSA.org and to help people outside the DFW area. I've led the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group since 2007, and I've been a member of the PIT crew for the last 4 years. Thanks for being with us on LinkedIn Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, we're going to have a different speaker with us, Luck Alderson, Terry Sullivan, and this week, Ruth Lipsky. So please join us. Everybody has a different point on how they use LinkedIn. So you definitely want to visit everybody because you're going to see different points of view from every time you do things. So this week, our speaker is Ruth Lipsky. She's going to talk about special features for job seekers. Ruth is a career coach specializing in talent development and career transition. In her practice, she focuses on LinkedIn as the most important tool for job seekers because of the powerful networking ability. Today, she'll discuss the newest features on LinkedIn for people who are looking for job opportunities. So Ruth, please take it away.
Okay, I got it. I'm taking control right now. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn and some of the features that you may want to use while you are looking for a job. We do know that LinkedIn is considered to be the online area to put your resume, but there's a lot more to it. And we're going to be taking a look at 4 different areas. We're going to look at the skills assessment. We're going to take a look at hashtags and how to use them. And we're going to take a look at 2 networking areas, one from your college and one from a company that you may want to be targeting. So the skills test itself, LinkedIn has always had a skills and endorsement area, but the endorsements have always been a little suspect because so many times people will endorse someone when they're not really sure that they got that skill, but they're just trying to be kind. So LinkedIn created a test. It was introduced just at the end of last year, and it allows you to take a short test in order to prove that you've got the capability to use that function in a business environment. Right now, those assessments are in 3 different areas. You've got technical, you've got business, and then you've got design. Now, it hasn't been out there that long, but recruiters have already jumped on it and have liked the idea that someone takes a test in order to validate that they know the skills. And it looks as though the people who have a skill and have taken a test to prove that skill are getting about 30% more job offers. So the test itself, 15 to 20 questions. They are multiple choice. It is going to be timed, so you can't stop and Google the answer and get back in. LinkedIn also changes the questions periodically, so you can't go out and look for what are the questions for this skill and get a list of them and be prepared that way. They're changing them out fairly frequently. You have to score 70% or better in order to be considered successful in that test, and then you're awarded a badge. That badge can be posted into the skills and endorsements section so that it's visible to recruiters and to other people. Recruiters will also be able to see it on their LinkedIn recruiter software. The skill test is only valid for 12 months under the assumptions that things change. Technology changes, the ability to use these functions change, so it will be on your profile for 12 months and then it expires. Now what happens if you don't get a 70%, you're allowed to retake, but you have to wait 3 months before you can retake the test. And if you don't pass the second time, then you're no longer able to take the test at all. So be prepared for it. The types of skills that we have are all going to be the types of skills that you would expect to have a test associated with it. So you've got the technical skills, and you've got business skills. This is mostly Microsoft Suite, Adobe Acrobat, and QuickBooks thrown in there. And there are also some design skills. And that's it for now. If LinkedIn feels that there are other areas or other types of skills that can be determined by a test, they are going to be adding those. And that's probably a decision that's going to be made at about the 1 year mark, so probably September of this year. So look for some additional changes coming up at about that time. Hashtags. They used to be known as communities, but LinkedIn changed that so that it fits in with the types of nomenclature on other social media. So the concept of hashtags was introduced in 2018, and it helps people find your content. So when you're posting information on the home page, you would add some hashtags to make it more interesting or to identify what type of discussion you want this to be part of. If you don't have hashtags as part of your profile yet, you can follow hashtags by typing into the top of any one of the tabs except the Jobs tab, a hashtag, then an area you're interested in. The most popular one is hashtag leadership and hashtag management. But they also have hashtag coronavirus. They have hashtag stock market. So if you're interested in anything that is more maybe up to date or more needed to hear about, you can put those as hashtags that you're interested in also. When you do post, it's quite often that you're going to be putting in something that interests you, and you're going to want to indicate to other people who could be interested in that same concept what area they need to be going to. So embed hashtags within the copy of your post. Don't go overboard on it, never more than 5. And LinkedIn is going to be offering you suggestions so that you will be able to fit in the hashtags that seem appropriate. Make sure that you pick the ones that really do look to be a good fit. LinkedIn is not infallible. Sometimes they're going to be offering some hashtags that really don't match at all. And you can always add your own in order to streamline it a little bit easier. And we're going to go out and take a look at how to do this once we finish up with this presentation so you can see a real demo on this. Where are you going to put hashtags? If it's a skill that you want to ensure that people understand that you have and that you are following that type of topic, then you put it in the About section, normally at the end of a paragraph that talks about it. You don't use it in that headline title field because it distorts the recruiter search, so stay away from hashtags in your titles. And don't put too many of them. You don't want to have more hashtags than you have content in that About section. You may want to use hashtag ONO because that means you're open to new opportunities. If you do use that, put it at the very bottom of your About section so that it doesn't interfere with the readability of your other information there. Networking is one of the key features of LinkedIn, and it's probably the feature that LinkedIn has spent the most time on and is probably the most proud of, because it's trying to connect you to people that you really do want to know. From a professional standpoint, you want to find people with similar titles at other companies. You want to be able to find hiring managers at other companies. You want to find other people in your profession so that you can keep track of what they're doing and what their profiles look like. So we're going to start off just looking at college connections. Using your college network, you're going to go to any of the tabs except for the Jobs tab. Type in the top section in the search bar the name of your university. In this case, we picked out the University of Virginia. And notice that it has alumni as one of the features that you're able to see. And what comes up is that there have been 158,040 alumni who have graduated in the last 120 years that also have a LinkedIn profile. It will give you information on where they live, and being able to sort out where you live and being able to find people nearby is a positive thing. It also says where they work. So if you're looking at the companies that the people at the University of Virginia normally tend to go to, they're all going to be listed through here. You can also use the search bar So in this case, the Dallas-Fort Worth area did not make the top section because there aren't as many people here, but you can always type it in into this search bar at the top and it'll bring in any information that you may want to search on. But there's more. So if we're taking a look at Austin, so we typed Austin into the search bar, and that's one of our searches now. We're taking a look at the 36 people who graduated from the University of Virginia, now live in Austin. We're taking a look at Oracle because that's where we're targeting our search. We only have 36 people at this, so it's going to be fairly straightforward to find a little bit about those. You're going to be using the next button that's up here in order to move and find even more information. Because how neat is this? What they do. This is what department they work in within Oracle. So if you're going to find the people that you have a connection to because you went to that school, or you paid tuition to that school for your kid, or your spouse went to that school, whatever connection you have, this is an excellent way to start your networking. I'm a graduate from the University of Virginia. I see that you're working at Oracle, one of the companies that I'm targeting. I also am in the marketing department. How do you like it there? Do you have time to talk? Love to hear some options on how to move into Oracle. Or I'd like advice on what is necessary in order to become successful at Oracle. You can come up with all kinds of networking information that you can send to people in order to increase your possibility of connecting with somebody within a company that has information that you need to have in order to join that company. It also tells what they studied, and maybe that's an area that you want to network on too. If both you and the person that you're looking at in this department have the same type of interests and study the same things, nice thing to be able to put into your network connection also. If you hit the next button again, then it tells you how many first, second, or third degree connections you have, and it tells you what skills the people have within their LinkedIn profile. Another way to connect with people, particularly if they have a skill that you're particularly interested in. All of the people who are going to be part of this are going to be down at the bottom, and we'll take a look at that once we get onto my profile so you can see what that looks like live. Similarly, you can network into a targeted company, and this is a great way to be able to find hiring managers or people who have similar jobs to you so you can see what their profiles look like. So if we want to target a company, we're going to put the name in the search bar. We're going to look at Amazon this time. And Amazon doesn't have alumni, it's got people. And they really keep this people section up to date. So you're going to be able to click on people and be able to see the 337,441 employees who are currently employed at Amazon. In this case, let's take a look at San Francisco. There are a fair number of people in that facility, 12,271. You can see where they studied. So this is a type of information that is similar to what we saw on the university side. They had their companies over here. When you're taking a look at a company itself that you're targeting, they're going to show what they studied. And if you have information on the city and the university, that's a real nice way to work through the networking speech. So now we are on the San Francisco area, and we're in the what they do area because we hit that next button. And now you can find what department you want to work in so that you can see who's working there. Let's take a look at the next one, which also tells you what types of skills they have. The last piece is always going to be first, second, and third degree connections. And I put this in because if you're interested in LinkedIn, there are a lot of blogs out there that are going to be giving you information about what's new, how to use the features a little bit better. But we're going to instead take a look at going in and we'll you see my profile?
Got it.
All right. The first thing we talked about was skills. So going down into the skills endorsement, here's the Take Skill quiz. You will only see this if you have one of the skills that they have a test designed for. So if you don't see anything in this area that says, I want to take a quiz, that means that you don't have anything in your set of skills that is testable at this point. But let's go back up to the top and let's take a look at hashtags. And hashtags can be used. One of the biggest features that we have right now is the coronavirus. If you have any skills in business continuity, disaster recovery, or crisis management, you need to put that at the top of the About section because that's going to make you more valuable to a company. They want people who can start things up again. They want people who are going to be able to deal with the recovery of a whole marketing plan, of a whole business environment. And being able to say that in your first sentence is going to be a stronger statement of what you expect when you get into a new job. You expect it to be a little bit messy, but you can handle it because you've got that background. Now I put hashtag coronavirus and hashtag work from home because those are both important to the type of statement that I'm making here. In another paragraph, when I'm talking about how I'm working with people, I'll put hashtag career development. So finding a hashtag that is going to be indicative of the type of information that you're using, hashtag empathy, might be a good way to highlight the skills that you think are important. Now, what happens when you do a search for hashtag coronavirus? Just starting to type in will give you some suggestions. You can see that there's there's several here. Some of them are in other languages. You can start at the top, but take a look at a couple of them because you're going to be interested in how many people are following. If you're in a hashtag that only has less than 200, then you're probably not going to get that much attention. But everything on this page, since it's hashtag coronavirus page, is going to be associated with coronavirus. It's going to be how to survive it, how to deal with it, how we should open up again. A lot of thank yous for the people who are working. And if you want to follow it, there's always going to be a follow button. Unlike groups, the follow button on a hashtag is not taken a look at by a gatekeeper. So if you want to follow, you follow, and it'll add into over here where it's got a list of the hashtags that you're using. Once you start following a couple of the hashtags, LinkedIn is going to allow you to discover more. And when you click the discover more, it's going to bring up other hashtags that it thinks that you might be interested in based on what you have in your profile, what hashtags you're following right now, and what type of posts that you've had recently. So being able to take a look at the other hashtags that might be worth looking at are going to be a nice way to get into the conversation for more and more of the topics that you think are going to be important. This is a good answer to an interview question too, because when they say, how are you keeping up to date on activities in your industry, you can talk about the groups that you follow, the blogs that you follow, and the hashtags that you follow within LinkedIn. Great way to keep up to date because there are a lot of people out there who are doing some magnificent work, and it's easy reads, they're short. So going back to LinkedIn in general, let's go and do a search. This time, can somebody on the chat give me a university? SMU. So Southern Methodist University, you're going to be looking only for the school because the school is going to be where all the information resides. Here we've got the alumni. LinkedIn is going to add a university to your profile in the interest area if you went to that school. So if you actually attended Southern Methodist University and you have that in your education section, you will already have followed that. If you simply like SMU or you have a relative that went there, you can still follow it. It'll drop into your interest area. It will not show up in your education though. We're going to take a look at the alumni. And look at this, 99,171 alumni who have graduated in the last 120 years. You can filter by that. It doesn't seem to give you much advantage though, unless you want to find the people who went to school at the exact same time that you went to. But taking a look at where they live, show more so that you can open it up. It will open up until the point where it no longer has the immediate room to be able to do that. So anybody want to look for a particular city? Give it to me in the chat box. Frisco, well, that would be the Dallas area. Let's see if they have Frisco. Most people do not put a city as small as Frisco in their city area because you get more hits from a Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. So Frisco's not going to come up with much, but let's go ahead and take a look at Dallas-Fort Worth because there are a heck of a lot of people here. So where are they working? Well, some of them are still at SMU. You're always going to find that probably on the top part of it because people who have LinkedIn profiles normally have them set up while they're in college. They're still in college. Taking a look at the people here, Amazon Web Services. We have 56 people who graduated or are attending SMU who also work at Amazon Web Services. Let's take a look at them. They will be listed down here, but 56 is probably still more people than we really want to be taking a look through. But you can see it gives a thumbprint of the name, what their title is, and it gives you the year that they graduated if they opted to put that in. But we're going to go into this next button here. And what they do is going to tell you what department they're in. So if I'm looking for somebody who is at Amazon Web Services that went to SMU and is working in the finance department, because that's where I am, there he is. Instead of setting the connect immediately, you probably want to go into the profile so that you can get a little bit more information about the person. He knows Python, good with statistics. Here's what his job is. Doesn't have a lot of information, but it gives you just enough information to be able to take a look and see if there's something that you can connect with him on that is a little bit more immediate. Hi, Carl. I also went to SMU. I am interested in the company. I see that you're working there in this field. I'm also interested in finding a finance position. Give a little bit of information there that gives that stronger connection. And schools are really a strong connection, but you don't have to mention them if you don't have a similar school. You can just go based on what your skill set is, what their skill set is, and be able to connect that way. Most of the time when you've got a story to tell, when you're going into the connect area, you're going to want to put it in here. You've got 300 characters, which is a fair amount of space to put in. It gives you the opportunity to put down why you're asking to connect with them and what you want. I want advice. I'd love your opinion. Can you give me some help? So, going back to SMU, there's our finance guy. There's another next button here though. And whenever there's a next button, you always click it. So here you've got a little bit more information, what they studied, and what the skills are. and how you're connected with them. If you've got someone who is already a second-degree connection, that's a little bit easier because you can start your connection request with, we have people in common on our LinkedIn connections. I looked at your profile. I admire what you did here, or I am also interested in this, would love to connect with you. And that gives you the start of the connection. And after that, you can create a dialogue about what you're looking for and what you want to do next. Okay, on universities? Yay. All right, let's take a look at companies. Somebody give me a company that they're targeting. JP Morgan Chase. All right. If you have not followed, then you do need to follow any company that you're interested in. That should be part of your marketing plan. Because anytime you follow a company, that's going to drop that company into your interest area, and recruiters are able to see if you're following the company that they belong to. And they do give preference to people who are following their company because it means you probably understand their products, their culture, and are going to be able to fit in a little bit better into their organization. So always hit the follow button for any company that you'd be interested in working with. There's no limit to the number, so go wild. We're going to go down and we're going to take a look at people because we're trying to connect with people in JP Morgan that are going to help us find a job there. We're going to network into the company. Now, where they live, this is a multinational company, so we're going to start out generally with United States, or we can put in that we're only interested in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So here we go. Notice that you can put in a city. If there's more than one city like that in the United States, you better put in the state also, but it does bring up the Metroplex here. You don't need to type out the whole thing and try and figure out if they have a slash in there or anything else. We got 1,186 people that we're going to play with. Yay. If you can take the next step of seeing, is there a university that we have in common? And let's see if they've got anybody at TCU, because that showed up in the chat room. All right, we've got 16 people who went to TCU and are currently working at a company that we're interested in. Let's take a look at those 16. They're going to be down here at the bottom. Look at these titles. Winner. Being able to find people just by glancing through here, if it's a small enough number, you can probably do that. Or you can go in and do a little bit deeper dive by using the next and taking a look at what department they're in, filtering it down if need be, what they studied, energy management and systems technology. Well, that's a good one. Connect with that person if you've got the same type of background. The next button, again, just keep clicking it, tells you if you're connected with anyone and what their skills are on their LinkedIn profile. You might find some skills here that you don't have on your LinkedIn profile. You might want to add those in if you think that that's a good description of who you are too. Always fun to see what other people have on their profile because you can steal those and use them. LinkedIn says they've got 50,000 skills. Yeah, it's hard to find the right ones sometimes. But once you find out that you've got something in common, let's take a look at the 5 finance folks. Take a look at each one of these people, send them a connect notice and reference that you're interested in that company, that you have this in common with them, that you are conducting a job search, would like their opinion on the industry, would like their would like a little bit of time to talk with them about how to join the company. And once again, always go in and take a look at
Ruth, let me jump in right there where you're at on that prior screen that had all those people listed. Please do not hit that connect button, because when you hit that connect button, it will send the generic invitation to connect with somebody. You always want to go into their profile so that you can do it. Oh, you can? Okay, they've changed it then.
And there's a difference here. It depends on what type of device you're on. If you're on your phone or a tablet, a white connect button will simply send the notice and will not allow it to be personalized. But if you're on a laptop or a normal computer, then the white connect button will still give you the opportunity to put in a message. You're generally better off by going into the person's profile and going into the connect area here. So being able to connect with a white button, quite often if you are a second degree connection, you'll have a blue connect button here. A blue connect button will always allow you to personalize. A white will only do it if you're on a large enough device. That make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You bet. But yeah, quite often you're going to want to take a look at their profile anyway so that you can see if there's anything else that you're able to connect on. The more things that you can put in that 300 character connect request that is in common with that person, the more likely they are to, one, connect with you, and two, continue a dialogue or be able to talk with you and get you the information that you really need. So you can talk to the people this way. You can also use this as a way of trying to narrow it down and say, I have applied for this job title. It looks like you might be, this might be in your department. If so, please take a look at my LinkedIn profile. I feel I have the skills necessary for blank, blank, blank. And being able to connect with who you think the hiring manager is going to be is a nice first step to bypassing the applicant tracking systems that are out there and going straight to the person that you need to be talking to. Now, the question did come up, what kind of LinkedIn profile do I have? I've got the basics. I do not have anything on premium, so everything that we talked about today can be done with anybody who has not paid for the premium package. Premium package does have some other benefits, but whenever I do demos, it's just easier to say, you got it, this is part of yours.
Let me throw another couple questions in here that were asked earlier. Doesn't seem like the assessments on leadership, there's no assessments for leadership or analytical type skills. If not technical, is it worth taking the assessment?
There are no managerial or soft skills that have tests associated with them, probably because there's a lot of personality that goes into what type of leadership you have. Even if they offered a, what would you do under this circumstance, and give you 4 choices, that's not necessarily a good indication of whether you've got leadership for that particular company. So you're right. Right now it is very strongly tilted toward those skills that are highly technical and can be measured.
Thank you. All right, another question came in. Let's see here. Does LinkedIn also provide courses to support the skill development that they're testing for?
It does. If you have premium, one of the advantages you have is that you can use the LinkedIn Learning. And the LinkedIn Learning area has a series of classes on an unimaginable number of skills. Some of them are going to be things like leadership or empathy or executive presence, but others are going to be more technical. So it has the different classes on levels of LinkedIn, of Excel. It even has classes on LinkedIn, but those are only available to the people who have the premium package.
All right, we have another question here. My question is related to content. I have a varied background with lots of transferable skills, and I'm trying to move into a different career, but don't want to look like I'm not open to opportunities that aren't directly related. What's your advice for deciding on what content to include without closing any doors?
The nice part about LinkedIn, as opposed to a resume is going to be 1 or 2 pages long. It's going to be targeted to the specific skills, titles, and experience that they're looking for. On LinkedIn, you can put a lot of information. So being able to put in the different titles that you are looking for in the headline area without appearing as if you've got too many job titles and it makes you look like a jack of all trades instead of a specialist. Companies are still looking for people who have specialized knowledge. They do like the idea of big picture thinking and knowledge across departments. But if all of your skills are in one area, in the finance area, you can put in multiple titles through here. And in your open to job opportunity section, you're allowed to put up to 5 different titles, put those in. But in the about section, that's where you're going to have to put in the reasoning for why you've got so many different jobs that you're looking for. And you can have a different paragraph that accentuates the skills and the experience that you have that would allow you to be in each one of those job types.
All right, thank you. Another question, what is your recommendation for connection requests for 3rd level connections? What's the best way to reach out to a 3rd level connection?
Finding something you have in common is always the first one. So we both attended the University of Colorado, go Buffaloes. I see that you're working in a company, or I see that you're in a profession that is similar to mine. I would love to talk with you about what you see the future of blank. So being able to find something that you've got in common is going to be the best way. Now, if you don't, it just needs to be a statement of, I found your profile. I find your write-up to be interesting or intriguing. Let's connect and talk about where the world is going, or what the best way is to look for jobs within your company. So having some reason to connect is going to be better, but it's definitely going to be better than just the hitting the connect button and sending the standard, I would like to connect with you.
Great, that's really all the questions that are on the chat box. If anybody else has a question, please go ahead and enter it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and we'll call on you. Several people have asked if this presentation will be made available. This entire recording will be is currently on Facebook Live, and it will be on Facebook for you to go back and look at, along with last week's presentation, or 2 weeks ago presentation from Locke Alderson. And this presentation will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel, along with all the other presentations we're doing on a daily basis. So this will be reviewable, and you'll be able to go back and look at it, and you can pause it as you're going to take notes or whatever you need to do. Do we have any other questions? Ruth, any last words wisdom you'd like to share?
I think we covered a fair amount today, and thank you for those questions. Those were all excellent.
Great, thank you. All right, All right, well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Tomorrow, Interviewing Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, session 4, we'll be talking all about video interviewing, so video interviews. So be sure to join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Just as a reminder, let me switch over here. Just as a reminder that every week we have LinkedIn Tuesdays, Interviewing Wednesdays, Effective Resume Thursdays, and the North Dallas Plano Focus Group is meeting on Fridays at 9:30. So join us every day at 1 o'clock. You can join us on Zoom. All that information is on the Career.fw calendar for logins, along with these meetings and all the other webinars and seminars that are going on that all the career groups are putting on now. You can find that information out there. Like I said before, these sessions are being recorded. We'll be on the Career.fw Facebook page and on the Career USA YouTube page. We'd like to really ask if you would go to the YouTube page and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, because once that happens, that allows me, it opens up some new features that we currently don't have. So if you can go to YouTube, find us on Career USA, that'd be great. Easiest way to maybe find us is go to Career DFW or Career USA, and not on the front page, but any one of the other pages, there are little icons in the upper right-hand corner that have all of our LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel, and you can click on that YouTube button. It'll take you right to the page, and if you subscribe, that would be appreciated. Please remember that Career DFW is a 501c nonprofit organization. We have no full or part-time employees. Everybody participating are all volunteers, and we survive on donations. I know today is Giving Tuesday. But please consider next time you do get a job that you will make a donation to help support Career DFW so it can keep us going. If your company is registered and does do matching donations, we are registered with Benevitive, and there are others that I know we can join, and you can make your donation multiply by 100%. So please consider that. So thank you for joining us today. We will see everybody hopefully tomorrow for video interviewing at 1 o'clock. Have a great day.